please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everyone. So we're back again for another episode of Hit or Miss, where I look at NHL teams' first-round draft picks from 2005 through 2015 and determine if each pick is a hit or a miss. Continuing on with the Central Division today, we're going to be talking about the St. Louis Blues. And before I start, I just have to say, please hit that subscribe button if you are new, and hit that thumbs up button and give this video a like if you haven't already, as both of those things greatly help out the channel and are very much appreciated. But let's get into it here. St. Louis Blues first-round draft picks from 2005 through 2015, starting in 05, where they selected 24th overall and took right wing TJ Oshie. This pick is obviously a huge hit, as Oshie has gone on to have a tremendous NHL career, now with the Washington Capitals, Stanley Cup winner in 2018, great top six scoring winger for Washington now, and certainly started to become that with St. Louis before being sent to Washington. But Oshie, 803 career games played, 238 goals, 329 assists for 567 career points, and a plus 126 career rating. For a late first-round draft pick, this is an absolutely spectacular. He should have been a top 10 pick in this draft. This has been a spectacular career, over 800 games played, over 550 career points, and still counting, as Oshie still has, I think, a lot of gas left in the tank. A lot of NHL time remaining as a solid top six winger. So that pick is absolutely a massive hit. 2006, they had two first-round picks in 2006. The first one coming first overall. They got the first overall pick in 2006 and went with defenseman Erik Johnson with that selection. And this one is so hard for me to call, because Erik Johnson has gone on to have a pretty solid NHL career. But we're talking about the first overall pick here. You don't just want a solid NHL career from a first overall pick. You want a star player. And Erik Johnson hasn't really become a star player. So this is tough. This is borderline. But I'm going to have to say miss on this one, because they could have had a more of a superstar player. I mean, Jonathan Toews comes to mind. Claude Giroux comes to mind. They could have had a much more of a star player than what they got at first overall with Erik Johnson. Now, Johnson has played 776 games in the NHL and counting. He's now with the Colorado Avalanche. Still in the league, still a top four defenseman. 80 goals, 223 career assists for 303 career points and a minus 25 rating. I just don't think Erik Johnson has lived up to being a first overall draft pick. So for that reason, while his career has been solid, it's not one overall good, and for that reason, I'm going to have to say miss there. They picked again at 25th overall and took center Patrick Berglund, and now this one is a hit, because Patrick Berglund had a very nice NHL career with St. Louis, was a great middle-of-the-lineup center for them, third-line type guy, but really effective third-liner for them. 717 games played in the NHL, 170 goals, 156 assists for 326 points and a plus 5 rating. Was a staple of the middle of that Blues lineup for years and years. In the NHL, obviously over 700 games played, over 300 career points. Third line center, really good one. Out of the league now. He has left the NHL now after being traded to Buffalo. But was a really good St. Louis Blue for a long time. And for a late first round draft pick to turn into that's a very solid pick there, 25th overall. So that one is a hit. 2007, they had 3 first-round draft picks in 2007. So a lot to go through here. The first one coming at 13th overall, where they took center Lars Eller. And this one is a hit, as Eller, who is now with the Washington Capitals, has gone on to become an extremely solid center in the NHL. Middle of the lineup, second or third line, depending on the team that he's playing for. 754 career games, scoring 132 goals, 162 assists for 294 career points and a minus 22 rating. Obviously, still adding to those numbers as he's still in the league with Washington and has been a very, very good third-line center for the Washington Capitals and just a solid middle-of-the-lineup guy. That is a hit there. 18th overall, they selected again, and with this one took defenseman Ian Cole. Another hit, as Cole is now with the Colorado Avalanche, has become a very solid defensive defenseman in the NHL, playing 541 games, scoring 26 goals, 112 assists for 138 points, and a plus 95 career rating. It's not about the points with Ian Cole. He now is a strictly defensive defenseman, stay-at-home veteran D-man who blocks a ton of shots, can play physically when he needs to, not afraid to throw his weight around, drop the gloves, and just overall play solid defensive hockey. And now he is with the Colorado Avalanche and still in the league for them. Very, very solid veteran D-man. 26 overall, they picked again, and with this one, they got probably the best player that they took in this draft, left wing David Perron, who played for the Blues, went to Vegas, now is back with the Blues, but 850 career games played for David Perron, 223 goals, 327 assists for 550 career points and a plus 7 rating. For a late first-round draft pick, he has put together a fantastic NHL career, very similar to TJ Oshie. Over 800 games, over 500 career points. Very, very solid player for a late first-round draft pick. And a massive, massive hit there. So in 2007, they hit on all 3 of their first-round draft picks. That would be a reason why the Blues have been such a good team for so long in the NHL. 2008, they had the 4th overall pick. And they were picking in the top 5 here, and with that pick, they took defenseman Alex Pietrangelo. Obviously, a massive hit here as Pietrangelo has gone on to become a high-level elite NHL defenseman, captain of the team now in St. Louis, Stanley Cup winner with the team last season, 758 career games played, scoring 109 goals, 341 assists for 450 points and a plus 77. That is as a defenseman, 450 points as a defenseman. He's one of the top D-men in the game now, 30 years old now, but become a huge piece of the puzzle there in St. Louis. One of the main reasons they were able to win the Stanley Cup last season. Obviously now the captain of the team and their best defenseman. So Pietrangelo is a massive hit. 2009, they selected 17th overall. And with that pick, they took another defenseman, this time David Rundblad, who this one is a miss as Rundblad only played 113 games in the NHL, scoring 4 goals, 21 assists for 25 points and a -6 rating. Never really found a full-time job at the NHL level. Was always kind of right on that borderline of AHL, NHL, and could never fully stick in the NHL. Only 113 games played, only 25 points and a -6 rating. That pick is a miss at 17 overall. In 2010, they selected 14th overall, and with that pick, they took left wing Jaden Schwartz, who has gone on to become a massive part of this team in St. Louis, still with the Blues to this day. 520 games played, 146 goals, 218 assists for 364 career points, and a plus 72 rating. All in only 520 games, so very good point-to-game ratio there. For Schwartz, he's a top 6 winger for them to this day, and is just, I mean, there's not much else to say. He's just become a very solid top 6 scorer. So, hit there. They picked again at 16th overall, and this time took right wing Vladimir Tarasenko. Another massive hit for St. Louis's Tarasenko, who unfortunately missed all of this season with a major injury, has become one of their best goal scorers, playing 507 career games, scoring 214 goals, 214 assists for 428 career points and a plus 75 rating. He's become a massive goal scorer in the league and a huge star in St. Louis. So Tarasenko, obviously a massive hit there and one of the team's best players. 2011, The Blues did not have a first-round pick, so we move on to 2012, where they selected 25th overall. And with that pick, they took defenseman Jaden Schwartz. This pick is a miss, as Jaden Schwartz has never really become a full-time NHLer. He's only played 42 career NHL games, scoring 0 goals, 5 assists for 5 points, and a -7 rating. Spent a lot more time in the AHL, has been a very solid AHL player, but has never been able to fully make the jump to the NHL, so that pick is a miss. 2013, they did not have a first-round pick once again, so we move on to 2014, where they selected 21st overall and took forward Robbie Fabbri. Now, Robbie Fabbri's career has greatly been impacted by injuries. He's missed basically 2 full seasons because of major knee injuries, and that has severely hurt his development. But I am still going to call this one a hit, because in 216 career games played, he has 46 goals, 58 assists for 104 career points, and a -55 career rating. He is now with Detroit. And I think Detroit is going to give him an opportunity to really push what he can do offensively and really start to put up numbers on a team like the Red Wings, who are really looking for young talent like Robbie Fabbri. And Robbie Fabbri is a very talented player. And like I said, the injuries really destroyed his time with St. Louis. He had a very strong rookie season. I believe he had 19 goals his rookie year, but then obviously the injury problems started and he never matched those numbers again. Now that he's with Detroit, if he can stay healthy and just keep himself on the ice, I think he's going to become a pretty solid second-line level scorer. And if he can do that, this pick, late first round, is absolutely a hit for sure. And Fabbri's still young, and if he can get over these injury issues, I think we'll have a bright NHL future ahead of him. No matter who he's playing for. But he's not with the Blues anymore, but I still think he can get his NHL career on the right track if he can stay healthy. So we're going to say hit there. And then finally in 2015, they did not have a first-round pick in 2015, so that's it once again, guys. There we go with St. Louis. We saw some hits. We saw some misses. It's been, certainly the best of both worlds. We saw some massive hits there. We've also seen some not so good misses, but for the most part, the Blues actually drafted very well. I mean, that 2007 draft where they hit on all 3 first-round picks, that's rare. You don't see that very often. Obviously, lately they had the draft where they got Schwartz and Tarasenko in the first round as well. So overall, St. Louis has been a fantastic, fantastic team drafting over the past 10 to 15 years, and that's one of the reasons they're still one of the top teams in the league and have pretty much been most of the time a playoff team throughout this time span that we're talking about. So with that, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.